What's up, guys? This is Kephas. Welcome back to WoW Classic, everyone. We are still in Duskwood. It is raining, and I've made my way back over by Darkshire. We got a couple quests from Sven. I picked up a quest down here. And all of them basically are having me either kill wolves or kill spiders. So we're going to be killing a bunch of wolves and spiders today, and we'll see how that goes. Now, I think this one here that I'm doing, I think I might be a bit too low to do this. This is a level 28 quest. A lot of the enemies here are at minimum 27, so like this one, okay, 27 I feel comfortable with. Also, it's kind of funny, you can skin Worgen. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy. But, yeah, we'll kill a couple of these guys. Again, most of Classic just involves you killing things anyway. So we're going to be grinding a bunch. Probably spend a lot of time in Duskwood. So, yeah, that's, you know, it's a good zone, in my opinion, when you're Alliance. It's definitely a good zone to level up in. Especially, like, if you're a Paladin, you know, because you can get a lot of benefit out of that. But yeah, so we just gotta kill, really only have to kill 8 of these guys. If I can find a bunch of lower level ones, then I might be able to just do this quest now. But at the same time, you know, luckily they seem to be mostly spread out. Also, I have to kill specific ones, so that's kind of weird, but you know, that's a very WoW thing to do, isn't it? Okay, this one's 27. This one does not count, but we will kill it anyway. Am I getting hurt by something? My health is low. What happened? Oh, I know what happened. So the reason why I came back over here is because I picked up a quest over there, and then I logged off, and then I logged in and I was dead. So I just had to, you know, I had to ghost up here, and yeah, so that's what happened. And I just took the res sickness, and then my res sickness fell off, and now I've got like half health. So when we kill this thing, I will have to sit down and eat some. That's fine. But yeah, so, you know, it's kind of funny because I've made mention of it a little bit, you know, here and there, but I've been playing Final Fantasy 14 alongside WoW a lot. Mostly WoW Classic and Final Fantasy 14 are the two I play, and it's kind of funny because oops, I didn't mean to use that one, but that's fine. It's weird switching between the two games because the way I control the characters and play the games are a little bit different from one game to the other, so I'm getting a little bit confused here. Oh, there's a giant wolf there. Hi. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit confused in terms of how I'm supposed to be hitting my buttons, so, you know, and how things work. I keep trying to open the map with the different buttons. So anyways, it's kind of funny. But, yeah, I play a lot of games. What can I say? And that lets me segue into something that it would be, I think, might be interesting to talk about, because this is a gaming channel, and that's primarily what we focus on here. It's a, you know, mostly gaming related channel, and I play a lot of video games. I've been playing a lot of video games, you know, most of my life. I mean, I really have. Like, I would say that a good portion of my life, if, like, you know, when I die and I'm in heaven and God pulls out a spreadsheet and he's like, here's how you spent your time, I'm sure that there's going to be like maybe 50 to 60%. I don't know if it's going to be that high, but a decently large portion, I'd say definitely at least 20% of my life is spent playing video games. I play video games a lot more than a lot of people do. Like, it's weird because I play them casually, but I also play them a lot, if that makes sense. So, like, I need to get rid of crap in here. We need that. So, like, I play, like, games. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what I can get rid of. Get rid of this. My inventory is always full, man. I play games a lot more than a lot of people do, but I don't play them and take them as seriously as people do. And, like, I do play a lot, but I don't play as much maybe as, like, a lot of my family and, like, people that know me casually. Like, I don't play as much as people might think. But I do play a lot because I enjoy them, and because, you know, as a visually impaired person, you know, growing up, like, I couldn't do a lot of things. I couldn't do sports. I couldn't do, you know, other activities. I couldn't just get out and drive, you know, in college era, like, kind of the same thing, really. Like, I had a means to get to school, and then I didn't really have a means to get anywhere else. So gaming kind of became my natural, like, thing. Like from childhood, it's like, you know, there's a lot of things I can't do. Like even things like that you wouldn't even think would be a big deal. Like I could ride a bike. I crashed it a lot more than most people. But like just like tossing a football around, tossing a baseball around, even like, you know, my grandma owned a cabin and we would go out to the lake every summer for a while, and even fishing was challenging. Like there were little things I could do where like I was fishing, but it was really difficult for me. I'd usually either need someone's help, or like I would tie the string around my finger, and I could kind of gauge it like that. And I caught a few fish that way. But like my thing is with a lot of things, if I can't participate in something fully, if I can't really get the most out of it, then I don't like to do it so much. So like even things like last year, my wife and I went to a baseball game, and you know she wanted to go, and I wanted to be there with her and, you know, hang out and stuff like that. But I had it was very hard for me to hide the fact that I just wasn't enjoying it, because not because I was feeling sorry for myself, but I couldn't see the game. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm there, I can hear things, and you know the snacks are cool. That's probably the best part for me. But I can't really see what's going on. I can't see the screens. I can't see anything like that. And again, it's not that I feel sorry for people. Want people to feel sorry for me. It's just that like if I can't really participate in something, then I tend to avoid those situations if I can, because like I'd rather do something that I can actually do. Like, you know, my friends would sometimes go karting, and I would go. I went a couple times, and then I was like, yeah, I'm good. You guys go have fun. I'll pass on this one. And you know, whenever we go do something else, maybe I'll hop in and stuff like that. You know, so like I remember I could never play volleyball in our church league, so I coached a team a couple times, and that was fun. So like I find ways where I can incorporate myself into things that I can't actually do. You know, stuff like that. So point being, gaming has always been that constant thing. Like, you know, I can't do a lot of stuff, right? And I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with the fact that I can't do things. But gaming is one of those things that I can do, and I can do sometimes pretty well. And even if I can't do it well, I can still do it and enjoy it, and that's all that really matters. You know, so like there are some games like Call of Duty that I can't do. But then there are games like Overwatch which I can do, or WoW and stuff like that, and I find ways around it. And that's why like it's very important to me when I make guides and make you know, macros, is because like any way I can find to help myself that could also help somebody else, I want to share that knowledge, because that way other people can have access to something that might empower them or give them something that they, because you know, people, you know, a lot of times when you have a limitation, you feel like there aren't a lot of things that you can actually do. You know, so like it's nice to find that thing that you can do, and then, you know, invest in that a little bit, even if it doesn't like, you know, lead to anything, you know, crazy, like in terms of, you know, like monetary gain or tangible gain in the real world, so to speak. Sometimes, you know, being able to enjoy something is enough. And that kind of brings me to the point. So like there's been this like controversy. It really should never have been a controversy, because I don't really think it was a big deal. Where a Joe Rogan, who's like he's a lot of things. He's Fear Factor host, comedian, UFC former UFC commentary guy. He said something that a lot of people didn't like about video games. he does that sometimes. He says, you know, Joe Rogan seems like the type of guy, this is commendable. He says what he thinks. He has every right to, and on some level I can respect that. Even if I don't agree with what he's saying, I can respect, you know, I respect the fact that he can say what he feels, and that's fine, and I think he should, and I think that it's okay to politely disagree with what he has to say. Unfortunately, people don't seem to get the concept of, leave that light hide, of, you know, politely, respectfully just disagreeing with what someone says, and understanding where they're coming from. So, basically, it brought up the discussion. He said basically, in so many words, he felt video games were a waste of time, and they were causing people to not advance in life, more or less. I mean, there's more to it than that. I'm sure you could find it out there. Like, look it up with Joe Rogan video games, and you find it. And what I think he was coming from a perspective of someone who actually had a problem with games. Like he was addicted. You know, like I played them out of not out of a joy, or like, you know, I'm just killing time or whatever. Or like, this is something I enjoy doing. I should be doing something else. Like, it seemed like it was taking over his life, and like, the thing about like the thing about addiction and gaming and like, because like it's easy to tell when someone's addicted to a substance, right? Like it's like, oh, obviously they're addicted to alcohol or whatever because look what it's doing to their life. You know, if they're addicted to drugs, that kind of stuff. Like obviously, you know, there's a concern there because of like what it's physically doing to them or doing to their life. Gaming, you know, and things like that are a little bit harder to, you know, kind of. We don't need those skins, honestly. It's fine. Wait a minute. Drink this. You know, like gaming is a little bit harder to figure out because of the nature of it, right? So, with gaming, I to me, it's like if you are playing a game consistently, constantly, and you're avoiding any responsibility, and or you're not enjoying it, you're forsaking your family, like the people in your life that are there that are, you know, maybe outside of the game. If you're not, you know, taking care of yourself, you know, or you're just unhappy but you're doing it anyways, it's like those sorts. That's all obviously unhealthy behavior, right? Beyond that, though, how a person spends their time is not, you know, it's very subjective in terms of value, I guess. Like, you know, video games are a waste of time based on like what exactly? I mean, like, because like I used to do martial arts. I did kung fu for 5 years, right? But in any real altercation, well, I mean, depending on the situation, kung fu might come in handy in certain situations. But a lot of times, especially when it comes to protecting my family, I've got other means, right, to protect my family or myself and my home or whatever. So, and you could argue that kung fu is a waste of time, reasonably so. I mean, there are other more efficient means to protect yourself than kung fu. Or any martial art for that matter. But it was fun because I enjoyed it. Now, you might say, well, you also got, you know, you worked out, you exercised. You know, we're going to get rid of these ones that aren't really going to do a lot. You know, you were exercising, that kind of, you know, that counts for something more. Yeah, I suppose it does. But, you know, there are, you know, scientifically proven benefits to playing games in terms of enhancing your muscles and your brain, I guess, like, so to speak, like, you know, enhancing your ability to solve problems, your reaction time, all kinds of things like that. So, like, I mean, that's like getting into like nonsensical arguments because it's basically, it assumes the idea that, you know, everything that you do should have some sort of gain. Some sort of tangible gain. Some people might think that, but then you got to ask the question, well, what if you're doing things like, what if you're watching a movie? What if you're watching television? What if you're listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, right? I mean, so, like, you know, what is the gain there? I mean, maybe there's a gain, but maybe there isn't. Maybe it's just a waste of time. I mean, you could say that about a lot of things. The thing I've noticed about people, like, and again, like, I think Joe Rogan, like, he's right in a way. Like, obviously, if you are playing games to an unhealthy level, then it is a waste of time. And I think that's what he was trying to say. But like, just talking about it objectively, like just saying, you know, like you can say a lot of things are a waste of time, right? I mean, I've gotten a lot of crap from people over the years. You know, like you know, you play. I mean, I have broken up with people. Like, I've ended relationships, like dating relationships with people over this, like, because, you know, for me, gaming has always been it's a very important hobby in my life. It's a big part of my life. Like, I've gone through phases in life where people made me feel guilty for playing games, even though there wasn't much, like, during a time in my life when there wasn't much else that I could do. And I've even gotten, like, when I went through phases in, you know, like, in high school, and I think I did it once out of after high school and college, like kind of like in between college, where I thought I have to get rid of my games. I'm grown up now, you know. And so I went through this phase where, like, I put up all my games, I sold some, and like I was like, you know, I'm done, you know, with games. And so, like, I was talking to my grandfather one day about this, and he's like, you know, so have you been playing any new games? And I was like, no, I don't do that anymore. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I quit playing the games. He's like, no, you didn't. And I was like, yeah, Grandpa, I really, like, I'm grown up now. I gotta stop playing games. I gotta be responsible and focus on life. And like, he gave me this talk. Like, he's my grandfather, who was like 70 at the time. You know, old man. You'd think the type of person that would be like, you know, games are a waste. He would be that person. But my grandpa was like, you know, dude, you like you've been playing games since you were 4, right? Like, you love video games. I've bought you more video games than I've bought anything in my life. I probably spent more money on video games than anything else. Like, you've been playing games your whole life, and you're going, like, it's part of who you are. Like, it's a part of your identity. And there's nothing, like, you know, basically, like, telling me, like, dude, you like games. Why would you not play? Why would you spend your life doing, like, not doing something that you enjoy? Like, it's never been a problem. You just decided that, what, because people were saying that you shouldn't? You know, like, and so he gave me this talk, like, you know, just, like, video games are part of who you are. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You enjoy them. You should, if you want to play games, play games. And so, like, after that conversation, like, I got my games back out. I was like, I do want to play games. And I started playing my games again. So, like, I've come to, like, to terms with, you know, like, with that. And I'm okay. Like, yeah, like, I can have a life, and I can be responsible, and I can have a family, and I can live normal, and be a normal, have all the things I want in life. Like, I hate using the word normal. Sorry. Like, it's, you know, but, you know, just the life that I want to have for myself, a family and everything. Like, I can do all that stuff, and I can still play lots and lots of video games. And, like, that was always one of my biggest concerns. Like, you know, there were times where I would go on a date with a girl, and I would, you know, what do you like to do? I play games a lot, you know, and they would scoff at me, or, like, roll their eyes, or they'd laugh, like, and not in like a, huh, that's cool, but in like a, oh god, like, no, you know, and so that would make my decision a lot of times, like, that would be not my sole reason for, like, but that would be a big part of, like, maybe not for me. Because, look, dude, like, there's a lot of people, guys and girls, who end up in a relationship where the other person is, like, weird about, like, the fact that they want to play a game. And I'm like, that's not for me, dude. Like, I remember talking to my mom about, like, you know, when I get married and am I not going to be able to play games anymore? And my mom was like, oh, yeah, you will. As long as you, like, you got to find the person that's, you know, it's for you. Like, if you find someone that's weird about it, then, you know, it might be a problem. So, you know, like, like, that's, like, a conversation I have with my mom. Like, the cool thing about, like, my life, when it comes to video games, I've never had anybody, none of my family were discouraging about it. They were very supportive, you know, because, like, they understood my situation, and they understood, you know, they had a good, like, a nice, like, nuanced view of games. Like, there were some people in my outer circle, or, like, some of their friends, or some people from my church that, like, you know, if it was football, no problem. Like, they loved sitting there watching football. If that was what you did, that was not a waste of time at all. Football was everything. But, man, if you played Mario, bro, like, dude, you were wasting your time. You should be devoting yourself to something more important. Like, that was the double standard, like, that a lot of people had in my life, so, like, sometimes. And I would feel that and feel frustrated about it, you know. But the truth of it is, gaming is no different than anything else. It's no different than watching TV. It's no different than any hobby that you do. If you enjoy how you waste your time, then you're not actually wasting your time. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know by clicking that like button. And feel free to share it with your friends so they can enjoy it as well. Don't forget, you can subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to be notified as soon as new videos are posted. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and if you'd like, you can support this channel on Patreon. Links to all of this can be found in the description below. This is Kephas. Until next time.